Hello and welcome. My name is Ellen with Ellen Estelle, and today I'm going to be showing you a vintage pattern haul. So I went on Facebook Marketplace, and if you haven't already, please check out my video of vintage fabrics that I've thrifted and or found on Facebook Marketplace. But I was on Facebook Marketplace again, just browsing, and there was a local woman in Minneapolis who posted about 6 or 7 groups of vintage patterns. So all of these patterns were distinguished by the decade. So she had like late 1970s simplicity patterns, early 1960s McCalls, like that kind of thing. And like I said, she had about 6 or 7 bundles. And when I messaged her, I inquired about 2 of them, and I asked specifically about the, I think it was a 70s Simplicity and either 60s or 70s McCall bundles, and they were all listed between $20 and $25 per bundle, and there are about 8 patterns in each. So she messaged me back and she said, yes, both are still available. And I thought about it and I didn't respond, and I thought to myself, well, I don't really need to spend $45 on patterns right now. I've been buying a lot of fabrics lately. I mean, I've been sewing like crazy, but I really haven't been sewing a lot of vintage patterns. It's still nice to have, and it's like a once in a lifetime kind of thing. I mean, you don't often come by vintage patterns, let alone what made these special were that they were all bigger sizes. So normally when you find vintage, you're finding things that are like standard size 6, maybe 4 or 6 in today's sizes. Women were just a lot smaller back then, and I'm an average size like 10 in the US. So when I'm finding these patterns where like the bust is like a 32, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'd have to draft it like, I don't know, so it was like 8 inches bigger or something, you know what I mean? So a lot of these times the vintage patterns that I do have are a lot smaller, and that kind of deterred me from using them because I would have to work, bust out my pattern making skills and work on grading those patterns up. So when I saw these, they were all like bust 40, 44 even sometimes. And I was like, wow, I've really never seen vintage patterns that big before. And I really would like to, buy these, but I couldn't justify the $45. So anyway, she messaged me back the next day after I hadn't responded to her message, and she said, hey, actually, if you are into vintage patterns, I'll give you all of them for $25. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. 2 of the pattern bundles for $25, that's like 16 patterns, and they're all bigger sizes. So I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'll come. So the next day I drove to her house, and it was a no contact pickup. It was left on her porch in a bag, and then I just left her the $25 in her basket. And anyway, come to find out, she actually left me all of her patterns. So that included all 8 bundles of patterns, and I'm excited to show you what I have. So first up is 8 1970 Simplicity patterns. Now you can tell that these patterns were really well taken care of. They were loved by someone. While they are bent and there may be some missing pattern pieces, I haven't checked them all, they are still pretty fairly intact considering how old they are. So here's one of them from the 1970s Simplicity. Super, super cute print. It is a size 10, bust 32.5. Vintage patterns only came with 1 size, so you would just buy the size that you needed, and if you needed more, you'd have to go and buy them. Here's another of the 1970s Simplicity. Bust size is a 42 inch. Really cute. I love the separates in this one. A couple more. Lots of dresses. I love dresses. And this is one that caught my eye when I was looking. I really like how it has the photo on it. Not all of them have photos. A lot of them were just line drawings and croquis figures. Here is a couple of classic A-line dresses. Love these. Love how simple it is. And not to mention, it is real vintage. So it's not just a reproduction or a modernization of these, 1960s, 1970s silhouettes. These are the real deal. And then 2 more. There was a boys pattern, and then there's also this separates pattern. Super cute. So that was just 8 patterns in that one bundle, which she had listed for $25. Next, so first of all, she packaged them all nicely, each in their own separate grocery bag, and even labeled them like 7 late 1960s simplicity patterns. So I am really grateful that she gave all of these to me for this price. I mean, if this were like my grandma's patterns, I would want to make sure they go to someone who is going to love them and cherish them. So I'm really hoping to give them what they deserve and utilize some of these patterns. In the very least, they will be very safe in my pattern drawer. So here's 7 late 1960s simplicity patterns. I mean, talk about how cute this is. I mean, they're all pretty simple. There's really not a lot of design going on. You get some more of that like complexity when you go into like the 1970s, and like the 60s were pretty simple. I mean, A-lines, sheath dresses, not a lot of style lines, but still very cool. This one's a size 40, bust 44. So if I made this, I'd have to take it down a little bit, but I'm not complaining. It's a lot easier to take it in than it is to let it out. Love this little kid pleat, or this Go Day right here. So cute. This is a size 9. It's a junior size, but the bust is a 32. Some pants and a top. A whole bunch of 1960s work appropriate separates, and some more 1960s pants and shorts. Next, we have 8 vintage 1960 simplicity patterns. First of all, I love this rendition. Like, the drawings are so pretty. Couple more for you. Love this dress, super pretty. Has a really interesting center front seam here, but like a little V in the middle too. A dress, a top. This one's really old. It's a little discolored, but the pattern envelope is still really well together. Bust is 39 on this one, so it's pretty much my size. Here's some separates. And here's some super attractive shorts. Very cute. Here's the other bundle that I inquired about. These are vintage McCalls. What I really like about the McCall patterns were that they had these colors here on the side. Love this dress, super cute, super simple. It has a style line, it has a center front seam, but then it has this really deep, I guess it's, I don't know if you'd call it a princess seam because it doesn't curve. It goes straight from the neckline all the way to the waist, almost like a very deep angled dart. How cute is that? I want to look like this girl. I want this. Love this girl's hat right here. And then there's also a baby pattern and a menswear pattern. So another bundle she had were some children's patterns. I'll just go through those quickly. Little sporty beach outfit. Some pajamas. Looks like some pants and suspenders. Another little suspender overall set. Well, like an infant or little girl's dress. Little girl pattern. Child's cowboy shirt. Cute. Little infant or child sleepwear gown. And then she also gave me a menswear bundle set. So here's like a boy and a man's shirt set. Looks like some boxers. This one has a copyright of 1951. Little kids sleepwear set. A vintage man's sleepwear set. I don't know what year this is from, but it says the pattern is 35 cents. Little boy sleepwear. A man's plaid button-up shirt. A boy's button-up shirt. Another button-up. I love this drawing. I love his sunglasses. And a really cute little boy's suit set. They look really cute. This one is from 1958. And that's not all. And she also gave me 3 vintage advance patterns. So these are really, really old. This first one here is a junior's fashion dress. I mean, I posted this on my Instagram story and everyone commented, you know, it's so funny how fashion changes and how like this would have been in style for a teen or a tween. I'm not sure of the year, but these instructions are really interesting. And I'm sure somebody had typed it up maybe on like a typewriter or something. It's just really interesting how they put it together. I also have a woman's vintage advanced pattern. And then I have a little kid pajama set. Thank you for watching. Let me know what was your favorite in the comments below. And until next time, please like and subscribe.